What's up, guys? It's Chris. Today we're trying something a little bit new with the video. So I decided to go for more of a conversation video where I talk about my thoughts on the new patch, especially Dead Hard. And I really want to hear what you guys think in the comments. But something big happened yesterday. We hit 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. You guys are so awesome. And so because of that, I really wanted to do a little giveaway. So we're going to be giving away 5 $10 gift cards. I'll be letting you guys know how to enter into the giveaway later on into the video. But let's get right into this. Here's the thing. There were a lot of people that I saw in a lot of games. You know, when people talk, it's just like, okay, this person got a full meta build. It's like they're pretty solid at the game, right? They know what they're doing. They know how to loop. So why do they need 4 dead hards so much? That was a lot of things that I would think about. They're not bad. So obviously they're just, you know, abusing a very, very strong perk. Which, why not? Why wouldn't you? It's in the game. It's insanely strong. Now, just because Moris are pretty good as a killer, it doesn't mean I'm going to be bringing those and stuff like that. But I understand it. So now it's in a spot where those people who said, oh, I only bring Dead Hard every game because Nurse is a thing, right? Dead Hard still is very strong against Nurse. Very strong. It's still solid against Blight. Good against Huntress. So, for the killers people complained about the most, I would say, and the reason they said they brought Dead Hard, it still does its job how it should. Completely. And more, honestly. Stuff against like a Nurse or a Huntress, new Dead Hard's better than the old Dead Hard. All it is now is it makes you actually have to think and chase. You don't just get to constantly greed anything you want for free, which is good and healthier for the game. Because the less people greeting means the killer can get more pallets out of the way and play around more dead zones, create more dead zones in general, which is a lot healthier, I think. Don't think the perk is bad in any way. I think it's solid. Once the killer knows you have it, if they hit you with... Because I see a lot of killers just not respecting Dead Hard at all now. And that makes it stronger. After that, though, if it's a smart killer, they're going to try to wait out the Dead Hard. But then as a survivor with it, you could just bait that a lot. You know, like you used to with Dead Hard. Just like kind of do that spin at the killer. Fake it once and then... you know, try to use the Dead Hard the second time. Or, you know, some killers really respect it and are really paying attention. So you can fake it like 3 or 4 times. I saw a dredge the other day where I could have faked that thing 5 times and he wouldn't have swung. Which is kind of insane. Dead Hard is not bad. What it makes it, though, is that it's not just a completely mindless chase tool to get you free loops. You can't just greed as much, and it helps the killer to get more dead zones. That's what I think. So, what do you guys think? I think that old Dead Hard needed to be gone and changed. I think it was stupid. It was really, really, really brainless. There was no thinking. You press E, and you get a free chase. Yeah, I hated the distance, too. That was the main thing, just allowing people to greed whatever they wanted for free. There's still a lot of survivors who use the new Dead Hard well. And it can be a little annoying depending on what kind of game you're in. But at least now I can kind of respect that they used their Dead Hard well. You know, before it was just like completely mindless. Okay? And it's not a knock to anybody that used it. I'm saying the perk itself took almost no thought at all. Like even a very average survivor could look good at the game, good in chase with old Dead Hard. Which is the biggest problem I had with it, honestly. Good for killer mains. I think it's healthy for the game in general, though, Carmina. Yes, nerfing the most mindless, you know, strongest exhaustion perk in the game is good for killer mains, yeah. But I think it's just good for the game in general when people start to get used to it. For the most part, the reason I wanted to have this talk at all with you guys is about, like, there's a lot of people on Twitter complaining about the new Dead Hard and all the changes and stuff and saying that, you know, they hate it. They need to bring back old Dead Hard. Dude, if you're one of those people out there really complaining that they need to bring Dead Hard back, you need to just be honest with yourself and understand you're not as good as you think you are at the game and you got carried and chased the majority of the time by the perk. If you're one of those people who says you use Dead Hard just because you play against so many Nurses and Blights, it's still good against Nurse and Blight. arguably better than it ever was beforehand. So there's really nothing to complain about there at all, as far as I'm concerned. Not only that, there's so many cool perk combinations now that you're not just seeing the same 4 perks every game, 5, 6 perks, you know what I mean? Dead Hard, Iron Will, DS, Unbreakable, or Deliverance, Adrenaline, something like that. It's so much more, like, there's so much room for creativity with a cool build for any kind of playstyle you want to go for. The Getaway build that I did a video on. There are still looping builds, and Dead Hard's still great in those looping builds. Anti-tunneling builds with off-the-record DS, kinship, anti-camping builds. Quick healing builds are huge now. Really altruistic builds with We're Gonna Live Forever and For the People. There's so much cool stuff in the game now that people were just so used to just running their full second chance builds to kind of carry them out the exit gates that I think they didn't even really like DBD. That's what it seems like to me. Like, I think it's so cool, the amount of cool builds and, like, fun stuff you could do solo or with your friends now with all the new unique perks and the changes and stuff. Lightweight, like, who would have thought lightweight would have been so fucking awesome as a perk? You know what I mean? So I think the people who are really upset with the changes are people who wanted to rely on 3 to 4 second chance perks to carry them to a win and a free escape. And didn't actually want to play DBD as much. They just wanted, teabag at the gates with Dead Hard, DS, Unbreakable, Deliverance, and act like it wasn't just perks that won them the game. It's just way more skill expression with that perk gone. The perk took no skill. It's just a free, usually 30 seconds or more in chase. And from the perspective, say I'm brand new to DBD. And I don't want to be a complete burden to my team in chase. Old Dead Hard, totally justified. That's not the people who are using it, though. It was the people who have, 1,500 hours plus in the game, know what they're doing, and just running it every single game, which is not good. I think that takes away a lot of the fun of DBD with all the cool perks and builds you could do now. I think people are starting to realize that, but there's still a good handful of people who are just not happy. What are you guys thinking so far? Am I being too controversial? Let me know. Now that we're about halfway through the video, I would like to talk about the giveaway. And so what you're going to have to do is be subscribed to the channel, leave a comment on this video, and also join the Discord, because we'll be picking the winner through YouTube comments and announcing them in the Discord. So if you don't respond within 24 hours of me pinging everybody, the winners, then we're going to pick a new winner. But that's what you got to do. 5 $10 gift cards, so 5 winners, and good luck to you guys. Another thing too, okay, if you want to go down that path, Nikki, and say for new players now it's harder with Dead Hard and all that stuff gone, I think it's better now for new players, honestly. Now, okay, don't get me wrong, you're still going to run into those hard tunnelers and stuff, and campers now. You did before, okay, Nikki? And new players usually don't have decisive strike anyway, so they were going to get tunneled regardless. I don't think it has anything to do with the changes. Again, if anything, I think these changes do more for new players. And what I mean by that is, it's kind of, I don't want to say trial by fire, like, jumping into Dead by Daylight, and what's the first thing a new player probably does, right? They ask their friends or Google or look up a YouTube video on what the best perks to run for Survivor are, and they start running that. But what that does is it conditions them into believing they need these perks to perform at a decent level, which they don't. So I think now with all the unique perks in the game, there's a lot more room for these newer players to actually get better at Dead by Daylight and understand the game a little bit better without just relying on these perks. Especially self-care spine chill being nerfed is so huge. I don't want to see any more Megs and Claudettes urban evading around the map on the edge self-caring for half the game. I don't. I think it's really good. I think just in general it's really good. Nikki, they did before anyway. They got tunneled more anyway. The only difference is now, if your teammates are farming you, at least you have a 5-second BT. base kit when your teammates don't bring it. You know, if anything, that's better on the change they made. How many times did you get unhooked in front of a killer before, Nikki, and they didn't have BT? Like, your teammate just does it like an idiot, right? Now there's a base kit BT to get you a little bit distance to try and find a pallet or window right away. Plus, if you're having that much of an issue with getting tunneled right off of a hook, put on Sprint Burst. After the hook, you have a 5-second window where they can't hit you, and then you could Sprint Burst to a safer spot on the map and actually make it work. Off the record, on top of that, Sprint Burst and Off the Record by themselves, like, destroys camping into tunneling. It destroys it. Because what it does, they don't want to hit you right off the hook, right? They're trying to wait, but then you get a Sprint Burst to another loop, and have Off the Record for 80 seconds of endurance. If a killer's choosing, just with those 2 perks alone, if a killer's choosing to tunnel you right off the hook, they're going to be losing the game, straight up. And if you have DS on top of that, they're screwed. They're not going to be able to win. Oh, tunneling and camping is cringe. Camping's the one thing I really don't understand. Mostly because, like, it's not fun, number one, at all. Not only that, it's, like, not even a good way to win. Like, if you want to win, you should be tunneling, not camping. So I never understood camping. Tunneling, I understand. Now, if it's a close game, you're really trying to win it. You need somebody dead. You're just going to go for the person off the hook. I get it, bro. I do that too when I'm on win streaks and stuff. But if you're sitting there at 5 gens, like, just looking for that motherfucker who you just hooked and got unhooked and trying to get him out, it's like, what are you doing, bro? I think DBD should be fun for everybody. And don't get me wrong, you know, as a survivor, if I see a killer not having a great time, and I did this today, there was a great Death Slinger hitting amazing shots, I gave him the kill because he didn't bring slowdown. He was having a good time with a pretty chill build and playing amazing. But the gens went really fast because of brand new part, toolboxes, and prove thyself. So he didn't really get to show off his skill too much. I'll give him the kill. I think everybody should have fun in Dead by Daylight. It's really not that serious. It's really not. So I think camping and tunneling for the most part, if you're doing it, you got to think about why you're doing it. Like, did you just have a really bad experience with some survivors that, you know, teabagged you at the gate and you want to make sure you got to get back at those survivor mains? It's just, they're not all the same people, man. You just got to look at from one game to the next and just play your best. But also, in the same breath, I do want to say, as much of a hypocrite as I kind of am for saying this, if you're judging how people are choosing to play the game too much without just kind of moving on and focusing on your own gameplay and having fun, I think that's also a problem in DBD, and I think that leads to a lot of the toxicity. Just focus on your stuff. If you have a bad game, it's one game and you go to the next one, right? But as a person who has no perks and I'm a beginner with base perks, I get tunneled, and 5 games in a row, I have that. I just don't want to play the game. Yeah, Nikki, I get that. But then you have to also be thinking about... Now, I know that probably isn't fun, okay? But think about some builds that can help you with that then. Like that getaway build I made, right? Overcome, lucky break. Just get away for the killer when he starts chasing you, and you don't have to deal with that if you're not the best in chase. Or if you want to get better in chase, run a really strong looping build. Windows opportunity, live, resilience, something like that. And practice just looping and try to get better. Like, really think about what you could do better. No, okay, now don't get me wrong. There's some games where it's annoying, right? Like, you get hooked at 5 gens and the fucker's just going for you and you're in a bad spot. That's annoying. It's annoying for everybody. You want to play the game, right? But for me, I would much rather just get chased the entire game and tunneled, you know, than sit on a gen and have to do 4 gens to escape, because that's so boring for me. But, okay, back to Dead Hard, though. Nikki, okay, let's talk about this then. So you want to bring up these points, right? I think they're fair points, the ones you're saying. Why does the nerf to Dead Hard make it more likely for you to be tunneled and stuff? If anything, the nerf to Dead Hard makes more people run stuff like Sprint Burst and Live, which is definitely stronger if you're getting tunneled. Yeah, everyone was using Dead Hard because it was mindless and very strong, Carmina. So because everyone was using Dead Hard, do you think they should revert it? Like, there's a reason they were all using it.
Just like when there were a bunch of people using Ruin Undying, right? Sprint Burst is better if you're getting tunneled, Nikki. 100%. 100%. Before it was too. No doubt in my mind.
We pretty much wrapped up talking about this stuff here, but I do want to just quickly cover the 4 main points we talked about. And the first one is Deadheart is now stronger against Nurse and Blight, which I think 100% it is. That you get way more distance if they eat the Deadheart than before. And it's still pretty solid against them and easy to use. 2 is more diversity in builds, which I think is way healthier for the game than just seeing the same stuff every single game. It makes it more fun for survivors to be able to run multiple different perk setups, and more fun for killers. It gets really boring to just see the same thing every game. Old Deadhard was a mindless chase tool, which it was. It really didn't require any thinking. It was just a free get out of jail free card, free distance to greed whatever you wanted. And now there's more skill expression in the game. And the 4th point we talked about is the new perks in general help new players to improve and not rely on just second chances, which I think is amazing for the game. You don't want these new players to just jump into the game and just rely on these same 4, 5, 6 perks the entire time they're playing DBD and think there's no other way to play the game. You want them to actually be able to learn the game and try different stuff out and just have a good time. That's what the game's for. It's to have fun. And I think this new patch is amazing. I love it on the killer side and the survivor side. But let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you in the next one.